Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Rezael deck profile for post-Dragonsoul Resonance. We got some new support in the 10th booster set for the Cardfight Vanguard Divine series. I have a feeling we'll be getting even more Rezael support with the upcoming sets, just for the fact that the Mythish are going to be a big focus on the next season of the anime. So whether we get a new version of Rezael or just additional support, we'll have to wait and see. That'll more than likely work with the Mythish cards that we have for the deck and many others in the Cardfight Vanguard series. But as I said, we got some new support in the latest booster set, so I figured I'd show you all the update for the deck with those new available cards. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. We'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. Our ride deck consists of the energy generator, with our starter being Wings of Aspiration, Soel, which we are getting a new version of Soel in set 11, so look for another update with this deck from then. Our grade 1 is Patrol of Gus Ventesta. When rode upon by Grade Advanced Ascensior, call it to rearguard and soul charge 1, making up for the soul, but also giving you a rearguard to call out, which during your turn, if you have a grade 3 Gary Vanguard with Rezael, it gets plus 2,000 power, making it a 10k on its own for a good booster or attacker also. Our grade 2 is Knight of Grade Advanced Ascensior. When rode upon by a grade 3 with Rezael in its card name, choose up to 1 grade 2 or less from your drop and call it to rearguard. So more setup depending on what you may have discarded for the ride deck cost to then be able to call back with Ascensior. And then our grade 3 is the Faded One of Miracles, Rezael, along with the copy we run in the ride deck. We run 3 additional copies in the main deck. You can go into the Persona ride with this card, but the main play is to obviously go into Faded King of Miracles, Rezael Vita, and then copy the Divine Skill of Rezael. But when it attacks, you can counterblast 1, choose 2 cards from your drop with different grades that total your damage zone, and call them to rearguard. So if you're at 3 damage, you can call a grade 1 or a grade 2. If you're at 5 damage, you can call out a grade 3 and a grade 2. Or if you are at 2 damage, you can call out a grade 1, and if you have a grade 0, it gives you options to just call out more rearguards to then be able to attack with this unit. And its Divine Skill, which can be copied by Rezael Vita, is Soul Blast 1, return all critical from your drop to the deck, shuffle it, and this unit gets drive +1 to end of turn. Till the end of this fight, you cannot ride units without Rezael on its card name, and you get when your damage check reveals a trigger other than heal. If your damage has 5 or more cards, choose a card from your damage zone and heal it, and then you lose this ability, just being able to turn any of your other triggers into a heal to then be able to use. So very, very useful as just a 6 damage check, so more of a defensive type of ability, but the offensive part of it is where being able to put back your criticals, obviously, to then reuse again off the drive check. So the earlier you get criticals, the better with this card. And then our other grade 3 is the Faded King of Miracles, Rezael Vita. This unit's also regarded as Faded One of Miracles Rezael. Gets plus 5,000 for each Faded One of Miracles Rezael on your soul, and all of their divine skills. And when this unit attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, choose 2 cards from your drop with different grades, total grade less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone, call them to rearguard. Then you can put a grade 3 card with Rezael on its card name from your hand into the soul, and then choose a grade 3 or less card from your drop and call it to rearguard. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of the units called by this get +5 to end of turn. So added plus pressure, you can call out units on top of other units, then use the ability of Rezael Vita, putting in a Rezael from your hand to the soul, to call out the rearguard that you just put into the soul thanks to this ability as well. The last of the grade 3s include 2 copies of Blessed Dragon Gabuelius, having the option to Soul Blast to check the top card of your deck, but then also being able to, when it attacks, if your damage zone is 4 or more cards, and it gets plus 5,000, it was placed by the ability of your Vanguard, the Faded One. It also performs drive checks with the counterblast 1 of being able to give it +10 and drive -1 instead of the +5, and then being able to perform that drive check. So after you attack with Rezael, you can attack with Gabuelius and then have the additional pressure of that drive check, which having another rearguard as well could help with the added pressure if we get 1 additional trigger, which we'll get to when we go over the grade 2s. For the grade 2s, we're running 3 copies of Knight of Bow Streaks Nobaris. When it's placed on rearguard by your grade 3 or greater Vanguard, it gets plus 10,000 to end of turn. And at the end of the battle attack, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rezael, Energy Blast 3, put this unit to the soul, draw a card, look at the top card of your deck, and put it on the top or bottom of the deck. So it can help to set up your Divine Skill, which is a big part of it, and where most of your Energy Blast ability will go for this card also in the deck. And then just added pressure being one of the better cards to call off of Rezael, to then just be able to free up your rearguard also, since after attack, you can place it in the soul and then free up your rearguards to then call out ones with Rezael also. and 3 copies of Nobia for the added search when it's placed on rearguard, being able to check the top 3, choose a grade 3 or less from among them, call it to rearguard. But if it's the battle phase, you can put it into the hand instead of calling it. So if you use this ability during the battle phase, you can get a Rezael to hand with this card's ability, which can then be used to put in the soul of Rezael Vita, and then a Soul Blast 1 to get plus 10 when it attacks if you have a Vanguard with Rezael also. So added pressure is just a better unit to attack with also. The new card from Dragonsoul Resonance that we're running is 3 copies of Impervious Dragon. Now, the one card you could run, which I took out of the deck just because I'm testing out, is Biscotti to then replace with this card. If you have Biscotti, you can keep her into the deck. If not, one of the more budget options is Impervious Dragons. When it's placed on rearguard or put on the guard circle, choose a grade 3 card with Rezael on its card name from your ride deck. You may reveal it. If you revealed a card, have a grade 3 card with Rezael on its card name, perform one of the following. This unit gets plus 5 until end of turn. If it was placed by the ability of your grade 3 with Rezael, it gets plus 10 instead. And this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of the battle if it was placed on the guard circle. And if it intercepted, it gets plus 10 instead. So it's more of a powerhouse, but also being able to call it early game as well, depending on what we use with the ability, to then add on to its power by just being able to reveal the Rezael from our ride deck to be able to get that plus 5 also. And then the 2 copies of Rifistor, just for the fact that we can call this card off of Rezael. It has the plus 10 guard restriction where our opponent can't call Sentinels, and then being able to check the top 7 cards for a grade 3 card with Rezael. Just added search consistency. We only really need the 2, though, I feel, because you can easily call this card back from the drop to the field for your rear guard circles, and then be able to attack with that unit afterwards. So one of the cards you can intercept with or call over with Rezael's other ability, and then call out again with the final ability of Rezael Vita. For the grade 1s, 3 copies of Knight of Strixspear Silveris. When it's placed by the ability of your grade 3 Vanguard with Rezael, Soul Blast 1 and all your front row get plus 5 to end of turn. And at the end of the battle, it boosts if it was placed by the ability of grade 3 Vanguard with Rezael. You can bind this unit and draw a card. So draw power on top of being able to give plus power to the front row, just to add more plus power on top of the Persona Ride and our Vanguard's own ability as well. The 3 copies of Dissection Angel, since we can't run Sargon in the deck anymore, I find Dissection Angel just to be just as good of a replacement for its draw power. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 Gator, it gets plus 2,000. And at the end of battle, boosted, Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, and draw a card. So while you can't check the top cards of your deck, you can still get a draw off of this card and retiring it. And when your drive check reveals a trigger unit, you can Soul Blast 2 to countercharge 1, and this unit gets plus 5 to end of turn, adding plus pressure to just when your drive check reveals a card, as long as you have the soul to be able to do so, to make up for some of your counter blasts also in the deck. And more countercharge power comes in the form of our Gragon. When your unit is placed by the ability of your Vanguard with Divine Skill, this unit gets on rearguard at the end of the battle, boosted, retire it, and countercharge 1, and it automatically gets the plus 5,000 as well. So more retire power just to countercharge this time, and just playing off of the fact that your Vanguard will do what it's meant to do, and that is call units by its own ability to the rearguard circles. With the last of the grade 1s being our Sentinel lineup, so the Elementaria Sanctitude, and the 3 copies of Bringer of Protection, Cephalon, just the standard Sentinel lineup, with our grade 0s being the 1 copy of Knight of Purse Capacity Catalyst. So you have a grade 0 to call on the option of early game Rezael if need be, having the intercept from the back row, and the plus 10 power as well to give to one of your units. If it was placed by your Vanguard's ability, you can choose the plus 10 instead of the plus 5 ability. And then our trigger lineup consisting of the 8 critical, just so we have more consistency to put back criticals off of Rezael's skill. The 3 draw triggers as well. Normally you can get the front row pretty much back in place if you wanted to try fronts, but still I feel with Sargon gone, you really need some of that draw consistency for your hand. And then the 4 copies of Aranis for the heal of choice, with our over trigger being Valnute, just a player preference for the restamp power to then be able to attack again with a rear guard after it attacked. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I always like updating Rezael, one of my funner decks to play from the Divine series for sure. And if we're getting more support, all the more better in the upcoming sets as well. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.